as you know, we've had several experts that we've invited into our program from time to time with the goal of teaching you what you need to do in different areas to start and to effectively run a business. Today, we're very, very happy to bring Niabella here. Niabella actually works with our congregation and with Tikva Productions in order to help us to do our marketing, which, as you've heard from me way more than one time, marketing is king. You've got to have marketing. So I want to introduce you to Niabella. Welcome to the set here in our congregation. And I just want to free flow with you and talk about what you do. Okay. So I know, obviously, you do social media, which is a monster area. It's a huge, important area in the world we live in now. And I know that if companies don't use social media, because some of them think, oh, I don't need that. And it's like, that is so wrong. If they don't use it, not only are they, in my opinion, walking away from a huge amount of business, but inexpensive way to get business. So I'm going to pretty much give you the floor. Talk to these folks about, what they need to do in order to be successful with it. If I have a question that I think they may have, I'm 61, I don't know nothing about social media, okay? I don't even have a Facebook account, all right? As terrible as that is. But everyone around me that's got to do their thing, they all do that, and I just don't do it. So I'm pretty green, but I'm very aware of the importance of doing it. So Nia, if you could share with the audience what you think is important, and I'll sort of play their part and ask you questions as we go.
Okay, sounds great. Well, like you said, social media now makes up 90% of the world's advertising.
Wow.
As crazy as that seems, and as large as it seems, it really does. Because the social media is tied in not only from the internet, but they're tying it into the TV. They're tying it into the radio. So they're telling you to go to social media to then listen to the radio, to then watch the TV. So social media is really dominating every aspect of a lot of our lives, you excluded. They say that it's for the younger generations, but it's really not. There are every different genre, every different demographic. There are people using some sort of internet.
My wife's mother is 90 years old. She's on social media. I am the only one left on the planet. I understand.
You're not, believe me. My grandpa's not either. So there is some sort of form for everyone out there. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, there are check-in sites like Foursquare, Google, they're using advertising. They're putting, dollars into that social media aspect. There are opportunities on Bing. There are Yahoo. So you could be just looking for, a carburetor, but go into Google, Bing, or Yahoo, put it in there, and advertising, social media advertising is going to be there. And so I say social media, but in true value, you have to say viral marketing.
Okay.
Because viral marketing is what it is. It's on the internet.
Right.
It's any kind of way that you can pick up your phone, look, see it, pick up your iPad, any of those devices. It's technology. It's viral marketing. It's out there for everyone. And what we may view as free, it's costing someone something somewhere.
Sure.
And so when, people tell me all the time, oh, I've got a Facebook page. And we put posts on it, but nobody ever likes it or comments or gives us any feedback. Or I have a Twitter, and I tweet, but I'm not getting anything back on. No one's retweeting my tweets. Mm-hmm. Or, well, we put some stuff on Pinterest, but nobody's repinning it. And so what Graphite has figured out
That's the name of your company.
That is the name of my company, Graphite Media, has figured out how to find the algorithms within those different sites and how to utilize them for businesses. Now, when Facebook first came on the scene, Twitter first came on the scene, businesses could go on there, promote their pages, promote their friend page, and we're showing up on people's news feeds. And then users kind of started pushing back. You know, I don't want to see advertisers all the time on here. So Facebook reevaluated. Okay, well, if you're going to post, we're going to check what you post, and we're only going to let so many people see that show up on your news feeds. We are only going to allow a percentage of what you post. So they, redid those algorithms, those went out. Well, guess what? They changed them again because they still felt like those businesses were showing up on there. And then business owners started getting frustrated. Well, I post and it's not working. And, I tweet and I'm not getting anything back. I'm pinning and it's not happening. I put up a YouTube video and nobody's commenting. And it's not something you can do one time. It's not something you can do 10 times. It is something that you have to do constantly.
Every day.
Every day, multiple times a day.
Right.
Timing, content, and knowing your audience are three of the most important things when it comes to social media marketing, when it comes to viral marketing. You have to know who you're reaching out to.
Okay.
You need to do it in prime times. The average person checks their Facebook at least 12 times a day. And I've had this discussion earlier. Someone said 50, and I said, believe it or not, it's far less. But younger demographics probably are a little higher. But on average, right now, they're saying 12 times a day.
Wow.
And that's not just Facebook. That is all of the different, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Hubspace, LinkedIn, and there are hundreds of social media outlets. Now, if they're checking them that many times a day, and we know the algorithms are keeping the businesses lower, then you've got to be posting more.
Right.
And your content needs to be something that people want to engage in.
Right.
You don't want to just have a message there in text. You want to have a captivating picture, something with expressiveness in it that's going to capture the audience. It's going to engage them. Like, share, and comment are the biggest things you see out there. Oh, if you like, share, and comment on our page, you can win. But how do you know if they're really winning?
Right.
And so again, there's the follow-up. There's pros and cons to all of it. There's more cons than there are pros if you're doing it yourself.
Right.
It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Pinterest, it's Instagram. That means if you're on all of those sites, you have to check all of those sites to see if somebody commented.
Right.
You don't want too much time to pass by. So that becomes a full-time job.
Right.
But that's not your job.
Right.
We'll say you own a bakery. Aren't you supposed to be baking a cake for Miss Johnson? Aren't you supposed to be, fulfilling an order right now? But you're locked in the back trying to bring business in.
Right.
And then the business that you have coming in, you're kind of missing the ball on. That's where Graphite comes in.
Right. That's why we brought you on, because, I may not be savvy in that area at all, but most of my life, my area of expertise has been marketing. Now, I had leukemia for a long time. I had a lot of years when I was out of commission, and man, the world changed in those years. And though there's really nothing different about what used to work and what works today, except you have to do 50 times more of it today because of everything that's going on. And I can tell you, because I have a lot of friends who are business owners, from small businesses to big businesses, that they're all saying the same thing. I know I have to do this. I know I need to hire someone to do this because I don't have time. And, my daughter used to do it, but then this happened with her, so she got her girlfriend to do it, and then this happened with her. And if you're either going to do it or you're not. And as you said, it's much more than just time. It's really understanding, as in all marketing, what does my niche, what does this group of people want to know about? It's not just sticking something up there to be in front of them, because they don't care after a while, then they don't pay any attention.
Exactly.
So we wanted you to come on for two reasons: to explain as much as you can, which you're doing, and also to introduce you and your company to the folks, because you got to trust somebody, and we trust you to do this. And if we trust you to do it, then y'all should be trusting her to do it. So, you have a group of people, they all have their specialty, and it's growing, your company's growing, and I'm just real happy to bring you here and to be able to push forward a little bit, because I don't care how small a company you are, especially if you're a small company, in my opinion, you don't have the time to do what you need. Most people, you know, give me a picture, have me draw a picture, there will be maybe 4 fingers on the stick figure, you know, instead of 5. And you can't do that. You have to, everything, like you said, has to pop.
Yep.
And if you don't have all the areas covered, it's not going to work for people. And like you told me, you know, and I know about you, you know, you had a business. In fact, why don't you talk about your business and what happened to you? I think that the audience should know that, because I've, you know, lost my house, lost my cars, you know, went through the whole, you know, learning process to coming to the point of starting several businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, smaller businesses. But it, you know, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So why don't you share a little bit and how that motivated you to move forward?
Absolutely. Well, in 2007, I had the great idea that, you know, hey, in a recession, let's start a business. And I started a women's clothing store. And I not only started a women's clothing store in a recession, but I decided that I was going to work full time and I was going to pay somebody to run my store, you know, because it was my store. So why not let somebody else kill my dream? And essentially that's what happened. You know, after 2 years of not ever making a profit, never breaking even, losing my house, almost destroying my marriage, I lost everything. I sat on the floor of this business on the very last day that we were opened, and I cried, and I was sour, and I was extremely angry, and I had no one to blame but myself, because no one had the courage to tell me that doing it the way I was doing it was wrong. That I had opened my business at a time where Facebook and Twitter and, you know, all these other social media outlets were really coming on the scene and were really taking off. And instead of utilizing that, I was afraid of it, and because I didn't know how to. And I had this beautiful store with a lot of wonderful clothing, and we had a decent clientele. I mean, it wasn't like we were bleeding money, we just weren't making any money. And so, unfortunately, no one had the courage to tell me what I needed to do to market it. You know, I was spending money in print ads, but print ads were kind of becoming something of the past. And so when I finally closed up and, you know, tucked my tail between my legs, I moved my family to Atlanta. And that is a business hub. Everybody there knows somebody who's doing something. And I went back into advertising. I worked for a great company there, and I learned a lot. I started learning how to write HTML code. I started learning more about e-blast marketing and opt-in marketing. I started learning more and more about social media. And I looked at my husband one day and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to help other small businesses succeed where I failed. I don't want Susie Lynn to be the one sitting on her restaurant's floor the last day that the last customer walked out and her crying her eyes out because she failed. I want to make sure that we have done everything we can to help them succeed. And so that's when Graphite was born, because I strongly believe that we are that missing link between small business and small business success. And so for them to be successful, they need to know that they have somebody on their team, somebody who's marketing for them. That's all we do, is focus on those businesses. We're not so worried about who's marketing for us, because we're marketing for us, because we're marketing you. And so we're making you successful. And then that frees up your opportunity to engage customers, to retain customers. Customer retention is the biggest thing for a business. If you can't form a relationship with your customers, they're going to go find somebody who can. Because you can go anywhere and do anything. You want to feel cared about. And so we take that extra step with our clients, with our customers. We make sure they know they're cared about. You know, we spend time with them on a level that most social media marketers, most social media managers, most advertising firms, they don't take the time to really get to know the client. They just get to know the business. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here we go. Where we get to know the client, I can tell you every one of my clients' names. I can tell you about their children. I can tell you about why they got into the business they're in. And I can tell you where their success started to drop off. And I can actually tell you where it began to pick up. And so because we take the time to get to know them and spend time with them, that makes us different than anybody else. Where we're not just looking to get you to pay us each month, which is nice. We do
Sure.
need that. It helps
Right.
keep our lights on.
Right.
But we want to make sure your lights are on. We want to make sure that you got a new sale. And we want to know it's because we helped you market it.
I want to stop you for a second because